The Oculus Rift, it's the rift between $2 billion and something of value. I worked in a company, we coined the term virtual reality in 1989. The founder is a really bright man named Jaron Lanier. And
what has he said about this?
Jaron's perspective is it's not going to really change anything. And all of us that work together at this company called VPL, we knew there were certain problems that were unsolved by commercial companies as well as the military. And one of them had to do with the fact that the human brain has evolved for your eyes and ears to basically be correlated in motion. So, for example, motion sickness is when your ears are moving but your eyes actually aren't, or your ears are picking up motion but your eyes are not. There's something called simulator sickness, which is your eyes are detecting motion but your ears are not. And your brain cannot make sense of what's going on. No one has figured out how to fix this.
So you're saying our brains aren't ready for virtual reality?
They're ready for augmented reality, and that's why you tend to see in the military things that look like heads-up displays, where they project a small image on top of a glass windshield or on top of a glass display. They're not really ready for this form of entertainment.
So why did Mark Zuckerberg buy it?
I think he didn't know what he was buying, number one. Number two, I think he's thinking, well, our currency of our stock value is pretty high, so why don't we buy it? And number three, maybe we can try to reinvigorate our gaming franchise.
Why the Geocities compare? For those of just tuning into the world of technology, remind us about Geocities, what that was, because it was quite a phenomenon when Yahoo made that acquisition. Tim Cook,
it was supposed to transform Yahoo into this next-gen portal. Right. No one uses that word any longer. In some ways, Geocities was an early social network, but the purchase never amounted to anything.
It was a pile of websites.
Correct. So it sounded exciting on the front, but it never materialized into any substantial business. And I believe the Oculus will be the same for Facebook.
How do you see Facebook evolving down the line? You know, obviously, you're an investor in Twitter, but you know there's been discussion. Why is he making all of these acquisitions rather than building innovation from within? Do you see Facebook as an enduring thing, or is it going to fade?
Well, I don't believe anything in life is enduring. But in terms of the endurance in Silicon Valley, I think Facebook is a company that will be around for at least 10 years.
Talk to me more than about the notion that Mark Zuckerberg in particular views his stock, your notion that he views his stock as overvalued and is just buying stuff with it because he can, because he thinks the value will decline. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I believe. My belief is that the peak, or when you start to get near the peak of a share currency like Facebook.
I have to use a certain word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking about individual stocks, but in a bubble you've got all stocks basically kind of percolating up to their highs. When people get up to that point, they start thinking, do I want to use cash or do I want to use my stock? And then people think, I want to use my stock because when things get tough, cash is still worth something.
So what are you investing in now that you think is going to be the next big thing? If Facebook's only going to be around for 10 more years, you know,
well, the truth
what is going to last?
The truth is I don't know what the next big thing will be after Facebook. Mm-hmm. Almost every company I've ever invested in, when I met the founder, I had no preconceived notion that was going to be big. Mm-hmm. I basically, after I met the person, within 15 minutes, I said, I have to invest in this person, this idea.
Well, let's use Yammer as an example, because that's turned out to be a fabulous exit for you, Microsoft buying that for a vast fortune. What did you see there, and what do you see now that you sort of are trying to maybe draw lessons from for future investments?
Well, with Yammer, I was friends with David Sachs, the founder, and I was an investor in Twitter, and we were talking about how Twitter was not being well managed at that time. And he said, do you think I should invest or not invest? I said, well, look, I'm investing. He decided to not invest. But he ended up building a company called Genie, and they ended up building a tool internal to basically allow people to collaborate, which looked a lot like Twitter. And David said, you know, there should be a way for engineers to collaborate in a company that isn't just based on email, because engineers really just don't like email. They view it as heavyweight. So he basically built the company out of this idea that there should be a Twitter for enterprise, which he then migrated to being a Facebook for enterprise.
And so when you look back and try to draw lessons out of that for your future investments, because obviously it was a great success for you, and as you said, an unexpected one, when you look back on that now, what are you sort of trying to look for in your next deal that might sound like that?
What I look for is something inside me that says, this is the most exciting thing and I would love to join these people as a co-founder. That's the heuristic I use. I don't have investment algorithms or principles. It's just, would I join these people to pursue doing this?